So Ara History Untold is a new 4X grand strategy game that has recently released on Steam, and it's also available through Xbox Game Pass. And what we're going to do in this video is go through if I believe it's worth playing or not. And to start this one off, if you don't play these games often, you will become overwhelmed incredibly fast. For an example, when you are selecting the character you want to use, there are a lot of different options in this game. But then once you get into it, this game has an incredible tutorial that's going to show you the ropes. It will help you get a much better understanding of the game and exactly how it works, because there is a lot to it. But basically in this game you start off with a very small region, and you eventually over time have to build it up and expand it, and you have to become the most triumphant sort of city there is. You need to be the best leader that you can possibly be. You need to be better than all the other leaders. And there are different difficulties and stuff you can play the game on. You can have it so that AI are quite relentless. You can have it so that AI are nice, chilled and laid back. Because it's definitely not just you that's on this map. I started the game and there were 8 of us all together. You can play this game multiplayer or you can play a single player. I like playing these single player and just sitting back and chilling because I'm not the sweatiest player there is. And I would get my ass handed to me left, right and centre in a multiplayer game. So it's something I just chill on and play against the computer. And basically you have to build your way up from pretty much nothing. You're just getting simple like login camps. You're getting simple farms. You're getting hunting camps and things like that. If you picture a game, I'm gonna say like The Settlers, like for those of you that are unfamiliar with this type of game, if you picture something like The Settlers or like Age of Empires, but based on tiles and you have turns, instead of it being just do this over time, like get this built, do this, so on and so forth, that is exactly what this game is, and then some. Because in The Settlers, you would build up your base, you would go out to war with some of the enemies, and that's pretty much it. In this one, you have to build up your different regions by placing your projects, which are things like your hunting camps, and then you have to declare war, which is all done through turns, but you've also got your research to do. You've then got the relationships with the different like leaders, whether you want to build those up or break them down. You've got random tribes in this game. You've got random wildlife like tigers and bears that you might have to go and hunt to get them out of the area so that you can use that tile to build on. And then you've also got the different ages and stuff that you go through. You start off with very basic things like spearmen and swordsmen. And you eventually go through the ages and you'll get like ships that you can fight with, because it's not just land battles, there are sea battles as well. And then you'll get things like war chariots, you'll get catapults so you can break down walls. Because if a leader decides to put walls around their base, you can't just go in with your spearmen and attack them. You have to use some sort of siege weaponry to break down the wall to then gain access to that city. And this entire game is based on turns. It's a turn-based strategy game. And sometimes you may be looking at like well into the 3 figures for the amount of turns you're going to take. And sometimes you might sit there for 20, 30 turns where you've got nothing to do because you've filled out all your different projects. You've got no units to deal with. You've got no moves you want to make on leaders. There can be that sort of idle time where you can just kind of figure out your next moves. And I would say overall this is a decent game. It's not the absolute best, but then I wouldn't say it's a bad game either. I've seen a lot of complaints in other people's reviews, people saying the game's full of bugs, it's got performance issues, and granted, they have said that you need something like a 1080 Ti to play, so a very, very old graphics card, but I think they've got that a little bit wrong. I think some people might be suffering with performance issues because their like graphics cards and processors and stuff aren't up to scratch with what the game actually needs. I think that's a mistake on the developer's part. I think they've kind of underestimated the hardware you need to run this game, but running it on my computer, it has run very, very smooth. I've come across no bugs, I've had no lag, nothing like that at all. But the one thing I will say is that if you're not playing this through Game Pass, I'm lucky enough to have a Game Pass subscription on my PC, so I'm playing it through Game Pass. If you are not playing it through Game Pass, this is going to cost you £50 on Steam. So it's not a cheap game in any way, shape or form. And I'm not the biggest fan of 4X strategy games. I like them. I like all sorts of strategy games. Real-time strategy, 4X, I don't mind any of them. I'm just not the biggest fan there is in the world. Like, you wouldn't really see me sitting there playing a game over and over again like Civ. Like, I wouldn't sit there for hours and hours on end just sitting there chilling and playing it. So when it comes to the question, do I think this is worth playing? I'm going to say yes, I do actually think this is worth playing. But personally, I would not put £50 down to buy this game. I would personally pay, like, for my experiences on the game, I would probably pay about, I'd be happy to set back like 30, maybe £35 for it. I don't think there's anything in this game that really warrants 50 quid. And they've got bigger editions that go all the way up to 70. So I think this game is definitely worth playing. There is a lot of strategy to it. There's a lot of detail in the game. It looks good. It runs smooth, at least if you've got like high-end hardware and stuff. But yeah, I don't really agree with the £50 price tag. As I said, I'd be happy to pay around £35-ish. And that is my opinion on Ara History Untold, and what we're going to do is leave that video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about this game in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.